Hey everyone, welcome back to part 4 of the Financial Analysis Dashboard series. In part 3, we finished building the KPI cards on the left sidebar, the combo chart, and the donut chart for invoice status. If you haven't watched that yet, I recommend going back and catching up first. In this video, we're going to finish the entire dashboard. We'll be building the outstanding amount by currency donut chart, the outstanding amount by vendor horizontal bar chart, the aging matrix table, the smart narrative warning card, and finally, the year and vendor slicers at the top. By the end of this video, the dashboard will be fully functional and interactive. Let's get into it. Now, we'll create the outstanding amount by currency chart. This is the donut chart at the bottom left of the dashboard, which breaks down the outstanding balance by currency: AUD, GBP, USD, CAD, and EUR. Before creating the chart itself, let's set up the background shape first. Go to the Insert tab, then select Insert Shape and choose the rounded rectangle. Go to the Format panel on the right, then open the Size and Style option. Change the height to 420px and the width to 605px. Close the Size and Style option, then open the Shape Style option. Make sure the selected format is pixel, not percentage. Change the corner radius to 20px and turn off the border. Open the Fill option and change the color to white. Place this background shape in the bottom left area of the canvas, below the combo chart we created in part 3.
Now let's create the donut chart. In the Build pane, select the donut chart. A blank visual will appear on the canvas. Let's fill in the data. For the Legend field, we'll use the currency column from the AP data table. For the Values field, we'll use the outstanding amount measure from our DAX measures table. Good. The chart is now showing the currency breakdown. Let's adjust the size. Go to the Format panel. Open Size and Style option and change the height to 345px and the width to 545px. Turn off the background. Place the chart on top of the background shape we just created. Now let's format the chart. Open the Title option and change the font size to 20 pixels. Close the Title option and then turn off the legend. After that, open the Slice option. Here we'll assign a color for each currency. Select the GBP series first. Open the Color option and change the color to E66C37. Change the series to USD and change the color to 744BFF. Change to AUD and set the color to 28117E. Change to CAD and set the color to 0A032E. And finally, change to EUR and set the color to FAA447. Once all the colors are set, close the Slice option and open the Detail Labels option. For the label contents, here I will change it to display currency category and the value, so the label will display the total outstanding amount for every category. I don't want to use percentage because I think in this chart, show the real amount is more useful and informative. Okay, next open the Values option and change the font size to 14px. Great, the outstanding by currency donut chart is done. Now let's move on to the outstanding amount by vendor chart. This is the horizontal bar chart on the right side of the canvas, which shows how much outstanding balance each vendor carries. Just as before, let's create the background shape first. We can do this easily by copying and pasting the background shape from the donut chart we created earlier. Place it to the right of the donut currency chart we just created. We need to make a few adjustments. Go to the Format panel, open the Size and Style option, then change the height to 420px and the width to 935px. I'll adjust the position slightly so the spacing looks even. Okay, now it looks better. Now let's add the bar chart. In the Visualizations pane, select the Clustered Bar Chart. This is the horizontal bar chart, not the column chart. A blank visual will appear on the canvas. For the y-axis, drag the vendor column from the AP data table. For the x-axis, drag the outstanding amount measure from the DAX measures table. The chart now shows all 5 vendors with their respective outstanding amounts. Let's size and position it. Go to Format, Open Size and Style, set the height to 370px and width to 870px. And turn off the background. Place it on top of the background shape. Now let's format it. Open the title option and change the font size to 20px. We will change font size and turn off the title for each axis. We don't need the axis title for minimalist look, and I think viewers of this dashboard can understand easily this chart without axis title. Open the x-axis option and change the font size to 12px. Turn off the x-axis title. Open the y-axis option and change the font size to 12px. Turn off the y-axis title. Open the bars option. Under Category, make sure it's set to all categories. Change the bar color to 28117E to match the rest of the dashboard. Next, open Layout option and change the space between category to 62%.
Next, we'll make adjustments so that each bar chart has rounded edges. Open the Error Bars option at the bottom and select Outstanding Amount Series to apply settings to it. Then, in the Error Bars option, enable it. We'll enter the upper bound data using the outstanding amount data from the DAX measures table. After that, scroll down and change the markers to circles. You can see that each bar now has rounded edges. We'll make some adjustments so that the marker's color and shape match the bar color. Change the marker size to 10px, then close the Markers option and open the Bar options. Let's change the bar color to the same color as the bar chart using color code 28117E. Then change the width to 10px. We'll also change the border color to the same color, and we'll also change the border size to 2px. All right, we can see in our bar chart that each end of the bar has become rounded. The outstanding amount by vendor bar chart is now complete. Now we'll create the aging table. This is the matrix table at the bottom of the dashboard that shows how much outstanding amount each vendor has in each aging bucket: 1 to 30 days, 31 to 60 days, 61 to 90 days, and 90 plus days. Let's set up the background shape. We can do this using same method as before. Copy and paste another background shape. Then place this background shape at the bottom left of the canvas, below the currency chart. We need to make a few adjustments here like before. Go to the Format panel, open the Size and Style option, then change the height to 400px and the width to 985px. Okay, the background shape is ready.
Now let's create the matrix. In the Build or Visualization pane, select the Matrix Visual. A blank matrix will appear on the canvas. Let's assign the fields. For the Rows field, choose the Vendor column from the AP data table. For the Columns field, choose the Aging Bucket column. This is the custom column we created back in Power Query in Part 1. For the Values field, choose the Outstanding Amount measure from the DAX measures table. Now we have a matrix showing outstanding amounts by vendor and aging bucket. Let's size it in the Format panel. Open Size and Style, set height to 300px and width to 925px. And turn off the background. Place it on top of the background shape.
Now let's format the matrix. Open the Style Presets option and select None. This removes all default styling so we can apply our own. Open the Column Headers option. Change the background color to 28117E and the font color to white. Change the font size to 18px. Close Column Headers and open the Row Headers option. Change the font size to 18px. Open the Values option, change the font size to 18px. Close the Value option and turn off the column subtotal. Make sure row subtotals are enabled and set the font to bold so the total row stands out at the bottom. Open the Grid option and open the Options setting. Set the row padding to 4 for more space between the row and the matrix table. We need to manually adjust the width of each column like this. Okay, the aging table is complete.
Now for the final visualization, the Smart Narrative Warning card at the bottom right. This is the dark card that automatically displays a warning message based on the live data. We built the DAX measure for this back in Part 2. Let's start with the background of this visual. In this visual, I use image for the background that I have already prepared in the link in the description. To add it, go to the Insert tab, then select Insert Image. Once the blank card appears on the canvas, go to the Format panel on the right. Open the Style option, then open the Image option. Make sure the image source is Upload Image and then select Browse. Open the image you just downloaded. Once it appears on the canvas, open the Size and Style option and make sure the Lock Aspect Ratio is disabled. First, adjust the position by setting the horizontal values to 1330 and vertical values to 1000. Then set the size to 472 for the height and 582 for the width. Okay, now we can see that the background we created fits perfectly within our canvas.
Now let's add the card visual. In the Build pane, select the card visual. Blank visual will appear. For the field value, select the narrative headline measure from the DAX measures table. This is the measure we built in Part 2 using var, return, and switch, the one that reads the data and automatically generates a warning message. Once the measure is connected, the card will display the warning text based on our data. In our case, because the overdue rate is above 30%, it should show the warning message. Let's size it. Open Size and Style. Set the height to 300 px and the width to 210 px. Turn off the background. Now let's format the text. Open the callout option. Make sure Apply Settings To is set to the Narrative Headline Series. Open the Value option and change the font size to 24 px. Change the color to white. After that, enable Text Warp and turn off the label, because we don't need the card title in this visual. Close the callout option and open the card option. Turn off the border, divider, and background. Place this card on top of the dark background shape we just created. Position it on the left side of the background shape so there's space on the right for an illustration.
To complete the warning card, we'll add a decorative illustration on the right side, just like you can see in the final dashboard design. The image is available in the link in the description. Go to Insert, then Insert Image. Open the Format panel, select Style, Open Image, make sure the source is Upload Image, and click Browse. Select the image you downloaded. Once it appears on the canvas, adjust the position manually so the image is perfectly fit with the background and the card values. The narrative warning card is now complete. This is probably the most unique element in this dashboard. It's not a static label, it reads the data and writes its own message. Okay, the final touch here is to add a slicer to the top right of our canvas. First, we'll start by creating the shape by going to the Insert tab, then selecting Insert Shape, and then selecting the rounded rectangle shape. Go to the Format panel, open the Size and Style option, and change the shape size to 60 px for the height and 420 px for the width. Close the Size and Style option, then open the Style option. Leave the corner radius at 25%. Then turn off the border and change the shape color to white. Once done, copy and paste the shape and place it directly above the shape we created first. Then in the Size and Style option in the Format panel, change the width to 120 px. After that, open the Shape Style option, and in the Fill section, change the color to 28117E. Okay, we'll use this dark blue shape as the slicer title using a text box. On the Home tab, select the Insert text box, then type the first slicer we'll create, Vendor. Select all the text and change the font size to 14 px, the font color to white, and don't forget to center the alignment. After that, go to the Format panel. Open Size and Style and set the height to 50 and the width to 100. then turn off the background. We'll place this title above the dark blue shape.
Next, we'll create the slicer by going to the Build panel. Then select the slicer visualization. In the Field section, select the vendor column from the AP data table. After that, go to the Format panel. Then open the Size and Style option and change the slicer size to 60px for the height and 275px for the width. Then turn off the background. Close the Size and Style option, then open the Slicer Settings option. In the Slicer Style section, select the dropdown. Close the Slicer Settings option, then turn off the Header option since we created it earlier. Finally, open the Values option and change the font size to 14px. Okay, let's place this slicer above the white shape we created earlier like this.
Okay, we've successfully created our first slicer. Next, for the second slicer, we can easily copy and paste it and make some adjustments. Select all the slicers we've created, then group it, then copy and paste them and place them to the left of the vendor slicer. After that, you can ungroup the second slicer to make few adjustments. For the second slicer, we'll change it to a year slicer. Select the title text, delete it, and change it to year. Next, in the Build gunnel, change the slicer field to the year column in the date dimension table. Then in the invoice date column, open the dropdown and select the year column. Okay, that's how easy it is to create the second slicer. And that's it. The Accounts Payable Executive Dashboard is now fully complete. Let's take a step back and look at the full dashboard. We have the KPI cards on the left sidebar, the combo chart and status donut at the top, the currency donut and vendor bar chart in the middle, the aging matrix table and smart narrative warning card at the bottom, and 2 interactive slicers at the top to filter everything by year and vendor. Everything we built in this series, the Power Query ETL, the DAX measures, the dynamic narrative text, and all the visuals is now working together as one cohesive report. If this series has been helpful, please hit like and subscribe so you don't miss the next interesting Power BI project. And if you have any questions about any step in this series, drop them in the comments. I read everything. See you in the next project.